Okay, so welcome everyone, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Before I started the video, talked a little bit about what mother means to me. I have experienced motherhood in different ways since I lost my first child, and now I have my second child who's almost a year old. So this is my first Mother's Day where I am holding the little bundle of joy, and I feel this almost like overflowing kind of energy inside of me. But yeah, I just spoke about that. Um, for me, mother energy is an energy that every woman can carry, no matter if she has a child or not, no matter, what her story is. And I want to honor that in all of us. And one of the parts that I feel is really, really important is how we mother ourselves. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this workshop as well is because I realized that I carry mother wounding. And I wasn't really aware of that until recently, where I'm like, wow, okay, like some patterns of how I deal with my baby, for example. I recognize that I'm not always available. And I, of course, want to always be available. And I ask myself, why is that? Why is there moments where I would like to push her away and that hurts me? So I'm doing something that hurts my baby and hurts me at the same time. And there's like this weird kind of thing in it. And then I realized that it really had to do with my relationship to my own mother. And then that, of course, took me into this big rabbit hole where I looked at my ancestry, like my mother lineage, where there are certain patterns that are repeating of yeah, the relationship between mother and child, mother and daughter especially. So yeah. There is a lot to unpack, and we're of course not going to do all of that today, but I just wanted to say that this is kind of where I'm starting. And I'm going to say it right away. I will invite you into a program that I'm going to hopefully create in July. So I'm going to just do a pre-sale for it. It's not like completely there yet, but I feel that this is important. And most of the things that I teach, they come from my own processes and kind of just reflect where I'm at. So I'm going to make a program about the mother wound where we can go into that. So anybody who's interested, you can stay until the end and I may have time to talk a little bit about it. But now we're just gonna tap into the mother energy and the layers of what roles mothers play in our world. And I like when I thought about it, I was like, there's like so many different things that mothers give to their families, to their communities, to the larger society, to the world. And so I want to really look at and honor all those different places and then see how can we support mothers in their roles and all the way down to how can we support ourselves. No, this like big keyword of self-care. I've actually kind of thought about it a little bit. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean to mother myself, to care about myself? And yeah, so in the end, we're gonna dive all the way back into that as well. But of course, to start with, we're gonna just settle. Anyone who has been in my courses or classes or workshops before, you know that I like to just start with a little check-in. I invite you to sit comfortably. If your body wants to move at any point, allow it to move. No, we want to connect to our bodies. We don't want to like hold a posture. We want to be soft. No, kind of allow right away, allow this softness, this kind of feminine energy to flow through you. I invite you to place both feet on the ground so you can feel the earth underneath you and you can feel held, supported, safe, grounded. And then if it feels good, I invite you to soften your gaze or close your eyes. Maybe you want to place a hand on your heart or your womb or anywhere on your body if that feels good. Or just allowing your hands to sink wherever they land. And we're going to start with a few deep breaths. And I invite you to allow your voice to carry whatever wants to be released and let go out of your body. Taking a few deep breaths to just arrive in yourself, arrive in this space, arrive in this moment. Feeling your breath as it slowly and gently enters your body and leaves your body. And maybe you can allow your chest to relax a little bit, your belly to relax, and see if you can allow your breath to go all the way down into your belly. All the way down, even into your womb space. And just feeling your breathing, feeling your body as it is breathing. Feeling home in your body. Reconnecting to the sensations that are there. Feeling your feet on the ground. And allowing them to feel heavy. Allowing your weight to sink down into your chair and into the ground. And relaxing, softening all the little muscles. And just see if there's any muscles that hold on even though they don't have to. That hold tension. And then I invite you to allow your breath to move there and to help you release, help you let go of that tension, help you let go of that holding. Allowing yourself to feel held by the earth, feel held by the space around you. Feel like you don't have to hold it all yourself. And I invite you to just feel the top of your head and allow it to relax. Allow your forehead to soften, your eyes to sink deep down into your head. Your nose and cheeks, the mouth relaxing, your jaw can drop a little bit. Opening your mouth just slightly. Allowing the whole back of your head to feel soft all the way down into your neck, softening and releasing the neck muscles and the shoulders, sinking down, and allowing the soft and warm feeling to move all the way down your back like a warm liquid, softening your shoulder blades and your spine, all the way down into your hips, and softening your chest, allowing your breath to sink even deeper, feeling there's space in your heart. And I invite you to just check in with yourself for a moment, check in with your heart. Be there for a moment and see what kind of emotions does this Mother's Day bring up for you. And just sitting with whatever is, holding space for yourself, holding space for everything that is there. All the joy and the love, all the pain and the grief, making space for it all. Making space for all of existence, to find space in your heart. And I invite you to imagine that you're expanding the space lightly, just as much as feels good right now, as much as feels safe. Allowing there to be more space for yourself, for your own emotions, for your own stories. And then I invite you to move down into your womb. And again, making space for all the experiences, all the creation that you have brought into this world in whichever way or form. Just honoring your creative center for a moment. And again, being with everything that comes up and just observing and holding and making space. Reconnecting with yourself, with these important parts of your womanhood. And then I invite you to imagine your whole pelvis relaxing, your buttocks, your beautiful vagina, your legs, all the way down to your knees. Breathing into it, breathing into the lower parts of your body, all the way down to your feet and ankles and toes. And imagine that your feet are just melting into the ground. And then I invite you to imagine or feel like you're growing roots down into the ground. From your feet, maybe also from your root space, from your buttocks, from your perineum, down into the ground, connecting with the Mother Earth, with our big mother, who's holding us all, who's nurturing us all, who gives us all life, and who we also need to remember today. We need to connect to today. We need to honor today. Because without her, we would not be here. And the way we can be with her will also influence the way we see motherhood and mothering and all that comes with it. So really imagine your roots big and wide, or maybe feel a connection. Maybe you can feel a tingling in your feet. Oh, whatever else comes up for you. Just trusting your inner journey with that. And I invite you to go deeper and deeper into the earth. Really deepening into this space. Moving throughout all the different layers of soil and rocks and crystal and water. Different minerals, and deeper all the way to the center of the earth. And just observe what comes to your mind, what comes into your field, how the center of the earth looks for you. Maybe it is a molten core, maybe it is a big crystal cave, maybe it is just energetic, maybe there's a color. Just allowing it to form an image in your mind. And then I invite you to imagine that there is a gift there for you. Whatever that might be, whatever comes into your mind first. You're receiving, allowing yourself to receive. This receptive nature of the feminine. You are worthy to receive, be willing to receive. Allow yourself to receive from the mother, from the earth. And just see whatever comes up for you, whatever this gift is, whatever it looks like or feels like. Well, maybe it's a word, maybe it's a color, maybe it's, I don't know, for me it's a pearl, maybe it's a crystal, flower, could be anything. And then I invite you to leave an offering for the earth. And again, just see in your mind's eye, whatever comes up there for you, what is it that you can offer? Maybe it is some water, sacred water. Maybe again, it's just an energy. Maybe it is a flower or a piece of cake that you made. And maybe it's a smile. And I invite you to bring a smile to your face and smile at the earth. And imagine her glowing with your smile. Imagine her receiving your smile, receiving your love, receiving your gratitude. And allow her to pulse. Imagine you feel the pulse, maybe like a drum beat, like a heartbeat. And then I invite you to pull up this energy. Pull up this beautiful, smiling, glowing, vibrating energy that you feel there. The earth is alive. Bring this life into you. Imagine it going up your roots, all the way up into your feet, into your buttocks, into your legs, into your whole pelvis, and filling your pelvic bowl, filling your womb space with this beautiful pulsing energy of the earth, reminding you that you are a daughter of the earth, that you are connected to the earth, that you can feel her heartbeat in yourself, and moving all the way up to your heart, connecting her heartbeat and your heartbeat, connecting you in rhythm. And maybe you want to allow your body to very gently move if it feels right. Breathing deeply, allowing yourself to be filled, allowing yourself to receive this energy all the way up into your head, into your third eye, into your crown, into your throat, into your shoulders, your arms, your hands. And into the field around you. Imagine it sparkling or shining, or maybe there's a color all around you dancing now. Allow this pulse of life to pulse through you. Allow yourself to reunite. Allow yourself to synchronize with the earth, to live in her rhythm, to feel her energy. And to receive. And then I invite you to bring your hands together in front of your chest. And I want to start with an invocation of gratitude. Gratitude to the Mother Earth. Gratitude to the Father Sky, the Creator, for another beautiful day. Gratitude to your body for being here. Gratitude to everyone who's here live and everyone who's watching this later. Thank you for bringing your energy into this space so that we can hold each other, so that we can be together and celebrate. And again, I invite you to bring a smile to your face and send some gratitude, send a smiling energy to yourself and see where it touches you. Maybe you can feel it in your face, in your heart, in your womb, in your legs, in your feet, in your hand. enveloping yourself in beautiful gratitude, beautiful energy. And then I invite you to rub your hands together and bringing warmth and blood flow and bringing this life, this energy into your hands, filling them with this energy, with this vibration of the earth. And then let's place the hands over the eyes for a moment and just feel it in your eyes, in your head, allowing it to touch your third eye, your inner vision, allowing your third eye to open and to grow, making space for all that you need to see. And I invite you to imagine a connection between your heart and your hands and your third eye, so that all that you create today will be exactly what you need to see and feel and connect with for your highest good, for your next step on your personal evolution, and for all mothers, for us as a community, as a village, as a world. And taking a deep breath there, and then very gently you can just wake yourself back up. Maybe you want to rub your face, or just allow your hands to go wherever they feel good. Maybe giving yourself a big hug, feeling the love inside of you, feeling the gratitude. Okay, there we go. As I said, I brought a rosemary one today, so I'm just going to leave it in the picture so that we have the rose here for everyone. Okay, I will work with red pens today. You can work with anything that you have or that you feel drawn to. I know that these probably work. That's why I chose them. Oh. Okay, and where I want to start is inside. So I'm going to start with a little heart that I put into the center of my drawing. And we want to leave a lot of space around it because we're going to do several layers. But just here, the heart. And this is the heart of hearts, your heart. This is you today. So as I said, where I want to go today is into the different layers of how mother energy actually shows up in our world. Where can we be mothers in a way, where are we mothers? We don't just mother our children. Of course, first of all, we mother our children though, or we mother in our families. So even if you don't have children, you can still kind of tap into and see how do you mother in your family. And so we're going to just draw several layers of hearts around this heart. So this is the level of the family. And they're just like, feel whatever is there for you. We could probably already make this one giant, but we're going to slowly grow because we give so much to our families. And most of us are almost forgetting the little one inside there in the family. But yeah, we want to look at all the layers today. And then, of course, we have our local community. So we're going to do another layer around that for the local community. We're just kind of seeing how we can grow, how this love grows. Well, we can imagine the love grows the love that we give as mothers, but also the love that we maybe should want to reflect towards all mothers, because they are important in the communities. A lot of mothers take roles in the community. To see my screen full screen, you can change into speaker view, I want to say. Yeah, you got to change your view to speaker view to see me. I hope that makes sense. I think there's like a little thing on the top right corner, depending on how you're watching this. Okay, so we're at the community. Now we're going into the bigger society. Well, there's more than our local community. There is our societies, our countries that we may or may not feel connected to, but where mothers have a role as well. And here we get into a space where mothers are often ruled on, or where mothers, of course, also take roles, but where it's, in my perspective, a little bit more like we are under the rule of other people who decide what mothers are supposed to do and be. So we can think about that. Oh, my screen gets small when my bandwidth is slow. Yeah, that happens too. I apologize. I'm doing my best here. It should be the best it can be. My thing says I'm 5G. So maybe in the future it's going to actually get better. And then, as I said, we have mother as like the kind of mother in the world, where I see like we can look at this energy beyond our personal, beyond our national, beyond our societal norms, and look at the archetype of mother that is present in all cultures in this world. It's important in all cultures in this world, and maybe we can learn from others to see how to honor the earth as a mother as well. And what would that mean for us? So all of these layers will in the end have an impact on you personally. That's why I wanted to kind of portray it like this. Okay. Now we have the general structure. So maybe I'm going to just write so that we don't forget it. We have family, community. I'm going to just write society here, and then world. And then of course we have the self, where we also want to remember that we can mother ourselves. So here I'm starting with self, family, community, society, world. Those are the layers that we're going to look at today. Now, first, we're going to tap into our intuitive flow and just draw some lines. Anybody who has worked with me before, we can work with neurographic lines. Neurographic line means a line that does not have a pattern and that you can play with moving towards where it's unexpected. You can work with inner tension, you don't have to. So what I will do is I will just feel into the flow. I like to really kind of feel into those as almost like lines of nurturing. This is kind of what it feels like to me today. I want to first allow the river of my energy to flow through these layers. And I'm intuitively going to start inside and then move them out. And then on the other hand, at some point, I'm going to turn around and draw lines in. Maybe we should actually start with drawing lines in. I'm going to actually reverse, start with drawing lines in, because I feel that that is where we probably should start. Not that I want to should everyone, but allowing yourself to receive first. And it's interesting because we're going from a space beyond our world. So we can imagine the energy of the universe and then we're going back out. So I receive and then I give. So I'm going to draw lines that go through my center somewhere. Maybe they don't all go through the center. You know, if your intuition takes you somewhere else, trust your intuition. It's like one of my mantras. So what I do is I first tap into my capacity to receive, and then I can feel into giving. And first with the lines, we're going to explore that just as an abstract feeling. It's funny, abstract feeling probably doesn't exist, but an abstract idea and a feeling. So just imagine you're receiving and you're giving, you're receiving and you're giving. You can even do this with your breath, inhaling, receive, exhale, give, and just kind of tap into this energy and see what does it feel like to receive and give, and have this in as like one, as a breath. They belong together. We cannot give if we cannot receive. I feel that that is the first lesson to mothers. So we're just going to give that a few minutes. Kind of hard to take long, deep inhales for me. I wonder how that feels for everyone. If you want to share something, you're always welcome to. Okay, so I have a lot of lines now. I would like to just sit with that for a moment, just with the feeling of like taking energy in and giving energy. I can say for myself, the lines out were much easier than the lines in. And I feel that that might be a pattern for many of us, that the giving part is more almost like more natural than the receiving, even though our natural energy signature is a receptive one, but we're so conditioned in a way to have this giving, you know, especially as mothers. We give, we give, we give. And how does it feel to receive? And I invite us into just feeling into that and kind of connecting with that while we round. Now I'm just going to very, very, very quickly, for anybody who's completely new, and in case anybody's watching this video who's completely new, tap into what the rounding is. So all of you that have worked with me, you know what you're doing. So if I imagine I have lines here and they are crossing, I have these little spaces where the lines cross, where they make an X. And so what we will do is we gently soften the X and make it into a connection. So here I'm going to go in to my corner and I just make this a connection. What I sometimes like to do is I just look at the shapes that appear in between the lines and I just go around the shape and make this a round tree. And the other thing that I like to imagine sometimes, or how I like to describe it sometimes, is you can imagine you're driving down this road and then you're making a soft right turn, and then you're making another turn, and you're making another turn. So it's all about softness and roundness, which again I feel is beautiful, that it can connect us to this energy that we all carry inside us as women. The softness and the roundness. And We're just going to give that a few minutes now to connect with and maybe feel into and ponder upon what receiving and giving means to us. Ask yourself, where do you give? Where do you receive? Just feel into it and see whatever comes up for you. So there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong answer here. This is all just about exploring this for yourself. This energy of giving and receiving, especially in your function or in your position as a mother, but also I feel as a woman in general. And I'm just going to use the old school gender because I feel that mother and woman is connected. And I know that other people can also have mothering energy, so you can explore that for yourself in any way that feels right. And I invite us all to breathe, staying connected to your body. Whenever you feel that you're drifting off a little bit too much, feeling your feet on the ground, reconnecting to your belly, softening, maybe feeling into spaces in your body that call your attention, and really paying attention, staying with yourself, with your inner experience. As I said, we're just going to give that a few minutes. So I'm going to quiet down. And the last thing I want to say is that this does not have to be perfect. Hmm. And just breathing and taking at your own pace. You can take as long for this as you need. I'm going to give it a few more minutes to like, even if we continue and you're not done, you can still continue, or you can come back to this. Allowing yourself to soften into it and really feeling all this curviness, all the roundedness. Allowing it to vibrate in your body. Allowing it to kind of touch you. Allowing yourself to become round and soft. You know, as mothers, we sometimes have to be really hard almost. We have to hold a lot. We have to set boundaries. We have to provide sometimes. So Mother Energy is not always beautiful and soft and round, but today I invite us to feel into that and see how we can maybe become a little bit softer. And again, allowing your voice to work with you, I would say. Voice as a healing tool, voice as your tool that you always have with you. Even if you don't have pens around and paper, you still have your voice. Really connecting with that as well, if that feels accessible and right and interesting. But I always invite people to experiment with that because, as I said, your hands, your voice, your body is always here. It's always there for you. Not just for everyone else around you, but you can always influence your inner state with your hands and your voice. You know, touching. Touch has such a magical healing property. I definitely feel that with my little girl. Like whatever is wrong, I just need to touch her and then things are okay again. I just need to hold her. Many cases right now. So how can we hold ourselves? I'm just saying that because I'm really in the center here right now. You can, wherever you are in your drawing, just feel into that space as well. How can you feel held in that space? How can we hold each other in that space? We're going to look at that in a minute. We're going to give it another maybe 2 or 3 minutes with the rounding here. Kind of slow today, but that's all right. No need to hurry. And again, breathing, reconnecting with your body, feeling all there is to feel. So as I said, stay with this process. If you need more time or come back to it, if you miss some corners, that's absolutely no big problem. You can always smooth it out later. And it's also okay to have a corner somewhere. Now I wanted to find a way to name some things because I feel that sometimes naming can be really, really helpful. And so what I want to invite us in is really kind of looking at those different layers and asking ourselves, what is the role of the mother in this space? In the family, it's pretty like obvious, so of course we can kind of start here. And what I want to invite us in is to kind of draw little circles. They can be really small, or they can be medium size or bigger. They can also go over several layers. And then feel into if we can name something. We can name the mother energy there. You know, what is the mother there? Who is the mother there? Who is the mother in this place? And what is she doing? No, like as I said, in the family and community can be easier. And well, usually I like to write in, but I already have so many lines, I'm probably not going to do that. So I just think about it. I just think about in this family space. And I think about it while I round. So my process is I find a circle somewhere, or draw a circle somewhere wherever it feels right. I allow my intuition to guide me. And then I feel into this energy here. And mine is like in touching myself and the family and the community. So I can think of as a mother, what am I doing here? Who am I here? What am my roles in a way? Huh? So here I'm like the nurturer, for example. I could probably do like a way bigger one, but I feel like for me, this very close nurturing is kind of like myself. I want to nurture myself. I want to nurture my family, and I'm nurturing my community in different ways. So just kind of feel into that, and you can think about that as yourself or as the mother archetype in general. And just see wherever you feel circles or wherever you see circles. Some might be bigger, some might be kind of egg-shaped, like mine here. Almost want to continue the egg shape too. Interesting. So this one is like someone who's holding. I feel like mother is holding space. And if this feels like kind of inaccessible or weird to begin with, just start drawing circles wherever you see them, and then allow your mind to open. Allow your mind to receive whatever message might be there for you. Not all the circles need a name, but as I said, sometimes naming can be really, really helpful. So I want to invite us into this inquiry where we can see, okay, what is mothering in these different spaces? And for me, on all these levels, it's holding things together. It's also holding a vision, maybe. Like for me, it's always, I get more ideas when I talk about it. This is why I invite people to write, for example, because that may or may not help you. Hopefully, it might help you to have more ideas. So here the mother is holding the vision, and I kind of like that. There's this egg shape, this like the vision of something new. The vision maybe of a new kind of family that to me is like starting to be the old school family again, since we are, as I shared before the class, moving closer to my parents-in-law. So there is like this multi-generation thing that I'm exploring in my personal life. And that in a way helps me have different visions that go even like into space of community and society and world. And now we can of course think about how can we make this happen? How can we bring new visions of motherhood into the world. How can we birth new visions into the world? Can make a big one here. And just kind of feel whatever happens when you move through these different layers with your circles, small circles, big circles. Just allow this to be a little bit playful too. As I said, not every circle needs a name or needs to be analyzed deeply. I'll kind of feel into the layers too. Where do you feel comfortable? Where do you feel like you want to have an impact, for example? Sometimes we are made to feel small. We are made to just kind of focus on your own, focus on your family. Don't worry about the rest. I feel it's important to worry about everything, especially in the world that we live in today, as we are watching mothers losing their children. I feel like losing a child to violence is like the worst thing I could possibly imagine. So when you are in this space, maybe just feel into compassion. How can we be compassionate towards each other? How can we hold each other in this pain that's there as well? And I feel that this pain is even stronger for mothers. Ooh. And as well, of course, for the Mother Earth, when we see everything that's happening in our environments, how the earth is exploited, how people have lost kind of the idea or the practice of reciprocity. Oh, there's a taking but no giving. So the earth cannot receive, the earth is just extracted from. And there's very few people that give back. And how can we tap into that? Ooh. So yeah, I will be interested where this is taking you. I'm just sharing wherever it's taking me right now. Ooh. Hmm. Huh. And I just had this intuition to make it almost like a little spiral here that flows out from the community towards the family and then towards the society. And I feel that has such a profound meaning again. If we start in community, that will influence our families, that will influence society. Where can we start? Where can we start making changes? Where can we start holding our mothers in different ways? I was thinking about that today. Like the country where I'm from, Germany, we have a year of mother paid time off that mothers get by default, and nobody, like if you have a quote unquote kind of normal job, then you can take a year off and it's going to be paid. And I was wondering if I propose that here, would people be okay with paying more, for example, for a service or for a product, if it meant that mothers can have a year with their child? And just as a question, would you be willing to pay more for something to support a mother? I almost want to bring this question big onto a billboard somewhere and see what happens. But these are all questions that we can ask ourselves. You know, how can we support each other? How can we support the mothers in our community? How can we nurture each other, support each other? And of course, also from one individual to another. But I feel that to really create changes, we have to find ways to influence these other layers. We have to make more space for community. We have to find ways to bring that into society, to bring that into the larger discussion. And the larger discussion, of course, is not about how we can support mothers right now, but it's about everything else, all kinds of other stuff. So how can we take this there? Almost want to make like some political statements there. But yeah. And then also, of course, from society to the world. Okay, so I've been talking a lot. We're just going to continue for a few more minutes, and I invite you to just see what comes up for you as you move through these different layers of where mothers play a role. Kind of ask yourself, what is the role that a mother plays? What is the role that a mother can play? And also, since I'm now in the role of society right now, the layer, what are we prevented from influencing? I feel like in the larger society, mother is like, okay, you gotta, like, you know, go back home basically. That's like, that's just, so mothers don't have a voice in society. How can we give them a voice? And then even like we can of course even move outside. No, how can we find a spiritual connection as mothers? Mothering as a spiritual practice. So many different things are there. So as I said, I'm gonna try and be quiet for a moment and just help you allow yourself to reconnect to yourself. Connect again to your body and see, how do these different layers feel inside of you? What emotions are connected with them? I had like a few moments right now where I almost wanted to cry. So there is a lot of emotion there. And I invite us to make space for that, to feel all the feelings that are there. I'm just going to give it another 2-3 minutes. Just having a really beautiful thought that I kind of just want to share. Sorry to talk today. I just had the thought of how can we in society have a bigger voice as mothers. And then I kind of thought, okay, when me as a mother right now, I'm so preoccupied with my family, with my actual mothering my daughter and holding things together. So I was wondering who can speak for me? Who can take the voice of the mothers into the world, into the larger spaces? And then this beautiful, beautiful realization came that this is the task of the grandmothers. This is the task of the mothers that like have mothered, who have grown-up children, and well, I'm going to say hopefully more time and space. But so these are the mothers that can hold the voice of the mother, where the mother was a little child like me. Obviously, I need most of my energy for this task right now. That's very specific, but I feel that it's so important that we also bring this voice into the world. And I feel that that is, for me, a part of this feminine energy, feminine movement, feminine rising, however you want to call it, that is kind of happening in our world, is that we can give space to these voices of the people that can hold the energy of mother, that know everything that I'm going through right now, that have lived through it, and that can speak for me, that know what I need, or that know that I need time and space to do my mothering, and that I also need time and space to even take care of myself and then my family, and then be involved in community, and then maybe my energy's out. So just kind of this thought of who can hold it, who can take the voice of the mothers into the world. And I want to just kind of see how that resonates with the grandmothers that are here. Okay, so I feel that this took me into places that I wasn't even aware I would go. I would love to hear where it took you and how this resonates, and how you feel that we can support mothers in these different spaces and hear the voice of the mothers in these different spaces. If you want to share anything, I can see it. Probably everybody's still just very busy drawing, and that's of course beautiful. But yeah, in the future, if you ever want to share something about that with me, I'm really, really happy to receive comments and messages and everything. Because I feel that this is important. And okay, I'm going to do one more circle. Sorry, I just see it here. It just has to be here. But if you are ready, you can, of course, also do color. Here, well, as always, I recommend to just follow your intuition. I feel that this is also part of mothering for me right now, to trust my intuition, to trust when I'm like, there is something, especially, of course, with my child. And I feel that that can actually help me be more attuned to myself as well, to the world around me. So I invite you to just trust your intuition and go into this space and see where the color wants to take you. And maybe there's different colors for the different layers. Maybe there's certain circles that want certain colors. Maybe the color just flows through the drawing. It's all allowed and open. Okay, now I got this one. So the way I like to color is I just grab whichever pen called my attention, and I just have a pile of pens here. I'm going to start with a very light one today. Oh, nice. Claire says, not a mother, so no resonance with grandmother, but I do feel the matron or crone is meant to be the voice of the mother you speak of. Yeah, yeah, thank you. And Linda says, as a mother of 5 and grandmother of 12, wow, I feel my role has changed. I am their teacher or guide or example at times. Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for your beautiful work in the world as a grandmother of 12. That is amazing. So, yeah, beautiful. And I feel like, yeah, the mother and the grandmother, of course. And I mean, yeah, as I said, anybody can mother. So it's not necessary to actually have your own children yet. You can still be in that energy. Oh, and yeah, I feel that there is need for support. That is what is coming up for me. That there is just this need for mothers to be more supported and to be more seen. Mothering, being a mother, kind of isolates a lot of people. I feel that a little bit as well ever since I became a mother. Of course, I don't have the time to be very present in a lot of spaces, but I do have some friends that just come and check in with me, for example, and I really, really appreciate that because I just don't have the headspace and the time and the energy to reach out. So having other people reach out is beautiful. Oh wow, Claire says I have over 20 nieces and nephews. I feel motherly to them. Yes, absolutely, right? That is beautiful. Wow, 20 nieces and nephews. Amazing. Yeah, and I feel that this might also be an interesting inquiry. Who are we mothering? No, who are we kind of feeling a mother to? I think a lot of people they are mothering their partners, for example, and this may or may not be helpful in relationship. A lot of people are mothering their community, and this may or may not be seen and appreciated. So we can also just feel into that. Where are we mothering? And how is it received? What energy comes back? Oh, where's the exchange? I feel that that is a really important one. Jordana says, and my process took me, oh wait, I missed this. Weep. Oh yeah. Okay, my process took me in realizing that I am more balanced when I pay attention to where or who I give my support as a mother or from this motherly energy. 100%. Thank you for speaking that. Thank you for, yeah, kind of reminding us all of it because, yeah, I feel the same. Like this, it's really, really important to look at the exchange. And that is in all different layers again. What is our energy exchange with the world? What is our energy exchange with society? What is it that we give? And what is it that we receive? Mm. So we're just gonna be with the coloring for a while. I'm gonna say maybe let's do like 10 minutes or yeah, 10-15 minutes. I guess like 10 minutes is probably good. And then you can, of course, also always do more, always go back into it later. And just allow yourself to flow through the picture, and maybe there's things that you see. And I want to invite us to, if you see any symbols, for example, you can of course pay attention to them. In this space, we don't have to follow all the rules of the Neurographica method 100%. So if you want to bring out a symbol, I'm going to give you permission to do that. You know, if there's, I don't know, a flower or a little dolphin or whatever you see, you know, in there, you can bring that out if you want to. Usually we work with very abstract shapes, but since we already started with the heart, we may as well open the space to whatever wants to come through. And this is really just whatever wants to come through for you. Mm. And again, connecting to your breath, reminding everyone to breathe, reconnecting to your body. And feeling the colors in your system as well. What do they feel like in your body? What emotions might be connected to them? What stories? And how might all of that tell you something about mother energy, about your mother story? Mm. 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 Nice. Thank you for commenting. Clara says, oh, you have to leave? Okay. I hope, yeah, I'm going to send out the recording soon. Mm. Lisa, as a caretaker in one way or another for my family, my whole life, it showed me where the holes are from one person to another. Yes. Yes, right. As a caretaker, giving so much, and where do you receive? Really kind of, I just, I'm just kind of coloring the heart that is the family here. And it's beautiful because I kind of thought of like how each layer holds the other layers. So no, the community holds the family, the society holds the community, well, the family holds me as well. I am in the center. So it was kind of like a beautiful reminder for me to make sure that I am not just focused on everyone else in my family, but also on me, because I am in the center. That kind of really resonates. And Victoria says, I find it interesting the different generational ways, expectations of mothering. Growing up, children were to be seen but not heard. When I became a mother, stay-at-home moms were considered not important to listen to as they didn't work. Both my grown children have children that have grown up with technology, so a very different world. Yes, right, there's so much in that. And there's so much in that how on this level of society, like what is the image of the mother? What is the image that children, for example, see? Like, of course, we know that children grow up in society as well, in community as well. So as parents, we have some influence, but we only have so much influence, and the rest is out of our hands somehow. And then there is things that like technology, and how is mother portrayed in technology? I wonder, what is AI thinking about mother? Would be interesting. I'm going to ask AI. I'm going to ask ChatGPT or something. But yeah, that is like such an interesting inquiry, and yet so interesting how the roles change to how the view of what we're supposed to be as a mother, who we're supposed to be, who we're supposed to serve. Because motherhood is such a service kind of oriented thing in a way. Well, people expect us to serve. Who are we serving? Yeah, beautiful questions. Thank you for sharing your questions. I think that there's so much to think about. And Christine says, my children are grown and have made me a grandmother 5 times now. My roles evolve, and I have learned to be flexible. I also am a spiritual mother in my community to several women weekly. I love that. Thank you so much. This is beautiful. A lot is unseen, so my affirmation come chiefly from the Lord. He sees everything, and this reminds me to not be attached to the approval of man in the world. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, right. Mothering, especially in this role, means that you may not even see what you're doing, but you just trust that it's touching the right people. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I love that you are a spiritual mother to your community. I think that this is what every community needs. And then the question, how can you step? I would almost love to interview each one of you and see how did you step into this role of spiritual mother. So interesting. And Jean says, I moved in with my mother 6 years ago after my dad died. She will be 89 this week or next week. I am now taking care of her. Our roles have changed. Yeah, right. This can also happen. I had this happen with my mom a few years ago. No, not actually a few years, probably 15 years or something ago, where she was had health problems, and I took care of her and I supported her. And that really kind of, for me, healed our relationship, because there was, yeah, as I said in the beginning, like I realized that I carried a mother wound and I'm still carrying it. But that was for me definitely like the beginning of even becoming aware of it and then starting to heal that. And that was me mothering my mother. And that was really, yeah, like a healing kind of, yeah, it's like a healing path. Mothering seems like a healing path now that I'm like kind of just speaking that out. Well, thank you all for sharing your beautiful shares. So amazing how many layers there are. how important this is. Okay, so let's give it another 2, 3 minutes. I was reading so much that I'm kind of slow on my drawing, but as I said today, I'm just gonna give it all the time it needs. And just one more time, reminding everyone to breathe. And again, thank you for sharing all the stories. And that is like so interesting to see, even just in our little group right here, how many different aspects there are to mother and to mothering, how many different roles. And yeah, really, again, the question, how can we support? Because I feel that that is one of the things we can't mother alone. We have to be in a community, in a society. And that will allow our mothers to flourish. Well, how can we help mothers to flourish so that they don't feel isolated, so that they feel held, and that will allow them to hold more? If I feel nurtured, I can nurture so much better. As I said, I am in the heart, I am in the center. The self is in the center, so mothering yourself has to come first, but that is often what comes last. Mm. And Linda says, speaking of mothers, my son just showed up. Well, have a beautiful Mother's Day. Well, yeah, enjoy your Mother's Day. Enjoy being celebrated as a mother. I really like that there is a day to celebrate us for being a mother. And then, of course, there's the other 364 days that we still want to be seen as mothers. And I think it's really important to see each other as mothers too. And like for me, that is like really, when I hear someone has 5 children, I want to bow down in front of you. One of my cousins has twins, and I literally, now that I have a almost 1 year old, I'm like absolutely impressed by, I mean, her and her husband. They're both parenting really, really beautifully. But yeah, by her just nurturing these 2 little souls is just amazing to me. And then, yeah, mothers that have a lot of children and grandchildren, like just beautiful. And then also the people that put their mothering energy into everything else. I feel that that is also such a beautiful thing when, someone can't be a mother or decides not to be a mother, and you still have the energy. You still have this mothering energy inside of you. So what do you do with it? What do you mother? Who do you mother? And maybe those people are the ones that can support mothers on different levels. So again, kind of looking at the different levels. How can we be the village? That's my big question for today. I think it's, yeah, one of my most favorite questions. How can we grow the village to where the whole world at some point feels like the village, where mothers are always held and are always seen? where this becomes a world where we see the earth as our mother too. Now, where we remember that. So many beautiful thoughts. Okay. So I think I'm gonna pause here with the coloring. You can, of course, again continue. I am going to continue later, but I feel that otherwise I'm just gonna get into talking more and more and more. Because there's just so many things, so many beautiful messages. Christine says, when my mom was dying with Alzheimer's, we had many conversations. A mom hem was asking for forgiveness. When asked, she remembered my asking her for forgiveness. Okay, asking for forgiveness. Yeah. She would say she didn't remember that and kept having this conversation. I think she really found a preciousness between us when we spoke of forgiving each other. I love that. Yeah, what a beautiful kind of way to support your mother. Oh, yeah, the forgiveness and the gratitude. So yeah, now that we talk about it, we can bring some of those energies, forgiveness, gratitude, love, peace, safety, into the drawing, whatever kind of resonates with you. We're going to draw some field lines for anyone who's studied Neurographica. For anyone who didn't study Neurographica, don't mind the terminology. We're just going to draw a line that goes through the drawing, and we can again do the inhale and the exhale. Now that we've like kind of I want to say contemplated a little bit on these different layers, you can just feel into where is the strongest energy flow for you, just very personally. And you can just do this with the pen that you had before. I'm going to do this with a thicker pen so that you can see quicker what I'm doing. So I'm going to start somewhere where I feel drawn to. I'm going to start somewhere here. And I draw a thicker line, but you can also just draw a line. And it meanders. For me, it goes all the way to the center. It doesn't have to though. And then it moves somewhere to the edge. So we're going from one edge to another, and I want to go over the same line several times. Really feeling into the energy. And as I said, we can have an affirmation in our minds and our hearts, bringing in the energy of forgiveness or gratitude or safety or peace or love, whatever it is for you. Just taking your time with it. Breathing with it, and you can draw several of those if that feels good. I want to draw another one here. And as I said, there's no like real right or wrong way to do this. The line just goes. Wherever it needs to go. I think I'm going to be good with these two here. I feel kind of good. Okay. And then what I do is I round them out. And again, I tap into the energy that they hold for me. And interestingly for me, these two now hold safety, which I feel is an important one for me, but also that I just want to feel and radiate into the world almost. And the other one for me is patience, which is an interesting one. and they may or may not be quite as specific for you. I always kind of like to make those really specific because then they can really hold this energy. But it could also just be like the connection to your higher self or to God or to a higher power. I kind of like to add a little specific energy to it. And just a last reminder to breathe. This is a really good moment to just slow down and to just start reflecting on the entire process for you and to just see where did it lead you. You can even see where is these lines leading you. Maybe there's specific kind of parts that they run through that become important. Or maybe you just enjoy the flow without thinking all hard. That's absolutely fine too. And then the final step for the drawing part, you can ask yourself what is the most important message in your drawing right now. Maybe there's one of the layers that came out as important. Like, where do you see yourself in this drawing? It could also be that one of these circles that you drew calls a lot of attention or has a message for you. For me, it's just the heart that says family. And that is, I think, for me, like my just personal stage where I'm at right now. For me, all my energy, my concentration is in this family space. So I'm going to emphasize that with a stronger line. Well, maybe for you, it's your role in the community, or maybe you have a circle that reminds you of your role, for example, as a spiritual mother to others. I'm just saying this like example. Whatever came up for you, finding a way to see that in the picture and to bring it out so that when you look at this picture, you're reminded of this part. And the cool thing that I see now that this reminds me of is that the heart of the family is the heart that is me, or the self, and then the family is held in the community, in the society, in the world. So I really love that. I'm now kind of reminded of these connections, but especially that like the heart in the center. That's the important one for me, I feel, right now in my current stage in life. And then one more time I go and round this out. So I want to invite us all into staying with a reflection for this. If you have the time, you can just sit and journal a little bit. Journal about your role as a mother, or where do you mother, and maybe even journal about how you can envision a world that supports mothers. I want to invite us all into like kind of this visioning process, because I feel that the world needs these visions. Oh, the world needs a new vision where mothers are not just hidden in the families, mothers are seen in the communities, mothers are supported in society. And course, where we recognize that the way we treat our mothers is almost like a direct reflection of how we treat the earth. So just inviting everyone to kind of feel into that for a moment and maybe put it in words if that kind of resonates with you. And oh, there's the comment from Jacqueline. One of my greatest lessons about parenting came from watching a pair of Canada geese raise their brood on our pond. Oh, that's beautiful. Both parents were always present, teaching, tending, and even scolding the goslings. Their patience in teaching them to hunt for food and even to fly is exceptional. Now that my own children are grown, I volunteer at a horse rescue facility where I can interact with horses and be a surrogate mom for the foals that are born there. There are so many ways to be a mother and so many lessons to learn from the animal kingdom about parenting and mothering. Thank you so much for bringing this in as well. This is like, yeah, connecting to the world, connecting to the earth, connecting to, yeah, really seeing how do other species mother. That wasn't even a thought that I had. Thank you so much for bringing this in. So I'll place my rose here for everyone. I'm just going to come back and say goodbye to everyone in the video here. Camera does stuff. Okay, so thank you for being here. I hope that something came up for you, something resonated, and that yeah, you see your own role maybe even in a different light. I feel that we also tend to make ourselves small sometimes because we are so almost, I want to say, quote unquote, trapped in our family unit as mothers. And as I said, I kind of want to start visioning more and kind of just tapping into the energy of what if we lived in a world that's where we learn from the animal kingdom, where we would treat the earth like a mother, where no, and what would that look like? What would be the giving part? How can we give back? How can we give back to mothers in our communities, mothers in our society? How can we convince our society, I'm thinking of politics here too, that mothers need more support. It's really interesting because as many of you know, I come from Germany, but I live in the US. And the way mothers are treated is very different. As I said, like we have a year off. So I feel that this is, if I think about like um, thinking to become a mother, to actually bring children into this world and to take on this role, which is a big role, it is a full-time job, then being in a place where that is supported in a way that um, I I receive respect for it too, and I receive the time, and I am not like pushed to yeah, kind of, and not being able even to mother really, because I also have to work and make the food happen. So yeah, those are like big themes for me, and seeing like how different these themes are touched on, where here we are in the US, and I'm just saying that, as an almost like outsider view, I feel that here we are in a space where um, people are being almost forced to be a mother, with like not being able to decide upon their own bodies and what they want to do, and making that a conscious decision. And as a mother, I'm going to say that for me, it needs to be 100% a conscious decision. And it doesn't need to be planned, but I still need to have the choice. Or I want to wish for everyone to have the choice to see if they want to be a mother, if they want to step into that. And then I feel that, if a society wants people to become mothers, then why not support them instead of try to rule over them? Well, because I feel that here is very much a ruling over, and kind of, okay, you're not allowed to do this, and so if you get pregnant, you're a mother now, and you gotta live with it and kind of work your way through it and do it on your own. And what if mothers were invited into motherhood in a different way? I wonder what what could it look like? And I'm not saying that I have the answers, and of course I have my own views, and it's absolutely fine if people don't share my views. So I'm not trying to push my views on anyone, but I just like feel that I want to just share that, because yeah, today I'm a talkative person apparently. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline says I too live in the US, and you are absolutely correct in your thinking. Yeah, yeah, right. It's here. It's more like a kind of. I think of it as parenting almost, like the politics try to parent us, and there is a way to punish parent, and there's also a way to support parent. And what if there was a different way? What if it was more about supporting? And allowing, especially young mothers, and especially mothers that are alone, and all of these things. I mean, there's so many parts of this. So yeah, I just wanted to throw all of this out for us all to think about. And yeah, I would love to hear more what you think about it and what you envision and how we can envision that together and how we can build the community, become the village, and show our love to mothers. And one last thing, that I feel like I have to say now is, just supporting the mothers that are right now losing their children, to hunger and to war and to, like yeah, I feel like we need to hold these painful spaces too for them. Didn't want to cry now. Well, thank you everyone who's like here until now. And like these are the spaces where I feel helpless, and I think this is what makes me cry, because I can talk about things and I can invite people into community, but there's parts where I just feel it, but I can't heal it. And well, I still feel that we need to feel it, and maybe one day we will be big enough and strong enough, and we will be able to change the world. I'm just gonna say bye bye and thank you, everyone. This is like a crazy one now. I don't think I've ever done this, but yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and I would love to hear from everyone. And have a wonderful Mother's Day. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and hug yourself, and being there in love for everyone.